Lemon Tunnel of Love tea cake.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Hello everyone, starting off with a medium-sized bowl and 6 ounces of happy cream cheese at room temperature. Add to that a quarter cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you're going to blend that together with an electric mixer until it's nice and creamy and smooth. And then you'll blend in an egg. Now I recommend a small egg. This is an extra large egg, and I will explain that significance later on. So blend that together till smooth and set it aside. In a very large bowl, place 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 1/3 cups of white granulated sugar, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk that together, and then you'll add a 1/2 cup of canola or other low flavor oil, a tablespoon of lemon zest, and 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Don't pour the buttermilk all in at once. Place half of it, stir it in, and then place the other half, and stir until all the lumps are gone and it's just combined. Then you're going to pour it into a bundt pan that's been well greased. Put half of the batter in the bottom, and then the recipe says to take dollops of that cream cheese mixture, put it on top of the batter, and keeping it away from the edges of the pan. Now, as you can see, my batter, there's no dollops here. It's quite liquid. So I think it's that extra large egg that made the difference. So I would use a small egg so that that cream cheese mixture is thicker. And then you'll take the remainder of your batter and gently place it on top of the cream cheese mixture. And then you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about an hour or so. Now I put it on in a little pie plate just because that silicone pan is kind of floppy and it's hard to move from place to place. And after about 55 minutes, 60 minutes, it looked done. And I peeled it out of that silicone pan and let it release, and it seemed to release quite nicely until I lifted the top up, and then boom. When I looked at this, I realized that it wasn't quite done. I thought it was ruined. Put it back in the pan, put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes or so. And then, fingers crossed, it was quite hot here. I should have let it cool a little bit more. I put it back on the plate, allowed it to release, and then held my breath a little, and then lifted it off. And it was okay. It has a little seam on the edge, but it turned out all right. Now, I'm not a big fan of this silicone baking mold that I was using. I prefer metal pans, and in fact, I bought a metal bundt pan that I'm using ever since. So once the cake is cooled a little bit, you can add a glaze. The glaze is simply a cup of powdered sugar with enough lemon juice added so that it makes a drizzling consistency, and then you're going to pour it on top of your cake. I find this adds a really nice flavor to this bundt cake, so I recommend that you do that. So when I sliced it up, as you'll notice, this is called a lemon tunnel of love cake, but I would say it's more a ribbon of love cake because the filling, the cream cheese filling, made like a ribbon shape. I think it's probably because the cream cheese mixture was a little bit too runny. However, it was delicious, nice and moist, great lemon flavor. Hope you give this a try and you have better luck than I did for my first attempt. Now here's another tunnel cake that I made. It's called a cookies and cream tunnel cake. This one turned out brilliantly, and you fill it after it's baked, but it is so good. Check this one out by clicking on your screen.